Your smartphone is destroying your brain faster than cocaine, and you're paying for the privilege. Scientists have proven that every notification triggers the same dopamine pathways as gambling, alcohol, and hard drugs. The average person checks their phone 150 times daily. That's every 6 minutes of conscious life spent feeding an addiction that's been engineered by billion-dollar companies to keep you mentally enslaved while you scroll mindlessly through social media. Your competitors are building empires. While you chase digital validation from strangers, successful people are creating real wealth and meaningful relationships. The uncomparable truth nobody wants to admit is that most people have voluntarily surrendered their mental freedom to technology companies who profit from your distraction. Your inability to focus isn't a personal weakness. It's the intended result of psychological warfare designed to extract your attention and sell it to advertisers. Michael was 30 seconds away from signing the biggest contract of his career. The client had already nodded approval for his architectural design, a stunning $50 million commercial complex. His phone buzzed. Just a quick glance, he thought. That single moment of lost focus cost him everything. The client noticed his attention drift, interpreted it as disrespect, and walked away. One distraction, one phone notification, $50 million gone forever. This happens every single day to millions of people around the world, not necessarily $50 million losses, but opportunities vanishing because we cannot control our attention. We live in the most distracted era in human history, and it's stealing our dreams, our income, and our potential at an alarming rate. The average person checks their phone 150 times per day. That's every 6 minutes of waking life, each time you break focus. It takes your brain an average of 23 minutes to fully return to the original task. Think about this mathematically. If you're interrupted just 5 times during an 8-hour workday, you're operating at less than half your potential capacity. No wonder most people feel exhausted by noon, yet accomplish so little. Your brain didn't evolve for the modern world. For millions of years, our ancestors survived by constantly scanning for threats, predators, enemies, changes in weather. This hypervigilance kept them alive, but it's killing your productivity today. Every notification, every sound, every movement in your peripheral vision triggers this ancient survival mechanism. Your brain interprets these distractions as potential threats that demand immediate attention. The neuroscience is clear. When you multitask, you're not actually doing multiple things simultaneously. You're rapidly switching between tasks, and each switch comes with a cognitive cost. Stanford University research shows that people who multitask take 50% longer to complete tasks and make 50% more errors. Yet, somehow we've convinced ourselves that juggling multiple activities makes us more efficient. So, here's what really happens in your brain during distraction when you focus deeply on a task. Your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, coordinates with other brain regions to maintain attention. The moment you're distracted, this coordination breaks down. Stress hormones like cortisol flood your system. Your decision-making ability deteriorates. Your creativity plummets. You literally become less intelligent. But here's the remarkable truth that changes everything. Focus is not a talent you're born with. It's a skill you can develop. Just as you can strengthen your muscles through exercise, you can strengthen your attention through practice. The most successful people in every field have mastered this fundamental skill. Let me share the 4 pillars that support unshakable focus. Think of these as the foundation upon which all achievement is built. The first pillar is mental discipline. Your mind is like a muscle that grows stronger with resistance training. Every time you choose to focus, despite feeling the urge to check social media, you're building mental strength. Every time you return your attention to your work after noticing it has wandered, you're developing the skill that separates high achievers from everyone else. Start small. Commit to working on your most important task for just 15 minutes without any interruption. No phone, no email, no exceptions. When you can do this consistently, increase it to 30 minutes, then an hour. The second pillar is environmental control. Your physical environment either supports focus or destroys it. Most people try to build focus while surrounded by distractions, then wonder why they struggle. This is like trying to eat healthy while keeping junk food on your kitchen counter. Remove temptation rather than relying on willpower. Create a workspace that naturally encourages deep work. Put your phone in another room. Close unnecessary browser tabs. Use apps that block distracting websites during work hours. The third pillar is emotional mastery. Internal distractions are often more powerful than external ones. Anxiety about deadlines, excitement about weekend plans, anger from a morning argument. These emotions pull your attention away from the present moment. You must learn to acknowledge these feelings without letting them control your focus. When anxiety arises, notice it, accept it, then gently return your attention to your work. This isn't suppression, it's conscious choice. The fourth pillar is purpose clarity. When you have crystal clear goals that genuinely inspire you, distractions lose their power. Think about it. When you're watching your favorite movie, you don't struggle to pay attention. When you're engaged in passionate conversation with someone you love, you don't check your phone every few minutes. Purpose creates natural focus. The clearer and more compelling your why, the easier it becomes to ignore everything that doesn't serve that purpose. These four pillars work together synergistically. Mental discipline gives you the strength to focus. Environmental control removes obstacles to focus. Emotional mastery prevents internal interference with focus. Purpose clarity provides the motivation to maintain focus even when it's difficult. Building these pillars requires patience and consistency, but the rewards are extraordinary when you can focus like distractions don't exist. You join the small percentage of people who actually shape the world rather than merely react to it. Jennifer thought she was focused. As a marketing executive at a Fortune 500 company, she prided herself on her productivity. But when her promotion was denied for the third consecutive year, she decided to investigate why her results weren't matching her efforts. She carried a small notebook for 1 week and made a mark every single time something pulled her attention away from her primary task. The results shocked her. In just 5 working days, she recorded 847 distractions. That's 1 interruption every 4 minutes. Email notifications, text messages, colleagues dropping by her office, her own wandering thoughts about weekend plans, social media checks, news updates, even the coffee machine gurgling in the break room. No wonder she felt busy but never seemed to complete anything important. This exercise changed Jennifer's life. 6 months later, she received the promotion she'd been seeking. 2 years after that, she became the youngest vice president in her company's history. The difference wasn't working harder or longer hours. She simply learned to work without distractions. Every successful person must understand that distractions come in 3 distinct categories, and each requires a different elimination strategy. External distractions are the obvious ones: phone calls, notifications, interruptions from other people, noises, visual stimuli. These seem like the biggest problem because they're visible and immediate, but they're actually the easiest to control once you commit to doing so. Internal distractions are thoughts and emotions that pull your mind away from your current task. Worry about upcoming deadlines, excitement about evening plans, replaying conversations from yesterday, planning what to say in tomorrow's meeting. These are more challenging because they come from within, but they're also more powerful once you master them. Social distractions involve other people's agendas interfering with your priorities. Colleagues who want to chat, friends who call during work hours, family members who don't respect your focused time. These require boundary setting skills that many people find uncomfortable, but are essential for protecting your attention. Here's your personal distraction audit process. For the next 7 days, carry a notebook or use your phone to track every single thing that interrupts your focus. Don't try to change anything yet, just observe and record. Note the time, the type of distraction, and how long it took you to refocus. This awareness alone will reduce your distractions by about 20% after your audit week. You'll have concrete data about your personal distraction patterns. Some people are most vulnerable to distractions in the morning when their energy is high, but their discipline hasn't fully engaged. Others lose focus in the afternoon when their glucose levels drop. Some are pulled away by digital notifications, while others struggle more with internal mind wandering. Now you're ready for the 21-day distraction elimination protocol. This systematic approach rewires your brain's response to potential interruptions. The timeline is crucial because neuroplasticity research shows it takes approximately 3 weeks of consistent practice to establish new neural pathways. Week 1 focuses on digital boundaries. Turn off all non-essential notifications on every device. This includes social media alerts, news updates, game notifications, and even most email alerts. Set specific times to check messages rather than responding to them randomly throughout the day. Use your phone's Do Not Disturb features during focused work periods. Install website blockers that prevent access to distracting sites during work hours. Create a charging station outside your primary work area so your phone isn't within easy reach. Week 2 addresses internal dialogue control when your mind wanders. Don't fight the thoughts or judge yourself harshly. Simply notice that your attention has drifted and gently guide it back to your task. Keep a small pad nearby to quickly jot down any important thoughts that arise. Then return to your work knowing you won't forget them. Practice the thought labeling technique. When worries or random thoughts appear, simply say thinking to yourself and refocus. Week 3 optimizes your social environment. Have honest conversations with colleagues, friends, and family about your new focus commitment. Ask for their support in respecting your concentrated work time. Create visual signals that indicate when you shouldn't be interrupted. A closed door, noise-canceling headphones, or a simple sign. Learn to politely but firmly redirect conversations that aren't urgent. I'm in deep focus mode right now. Can we talk about this at 3 p.m. instead? Sometimes. Despite your best systems, distractions break through. You need emergency focus recovery techniques for these moments. The 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method works instantly. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This technique pulls your attention back to the present moment and resets your focus. The power pause involves taking 3 deep breaths before returning to your task. This micro-meditation activates your parasympathetic nervous system and clears the mental residue left by the distraction. Physical movement resets your mental clarity. Stand up, do 10 jumping jacks, or walk to the water cooler. Movement increases blood flow to your brain and helps you transition back to focused work. These recovery techniques transform you from someone who loses focus for 23 minutes after each interruption into someone who can refocus within seconds. This single skill multiplies your effective productivity by 5 to 10 times. Robert built a billion-dollar software company with a simple rule: no meetings between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. While his competitors filled their mornings with status updates and planning sessions, Robert's team spent their peak mental hours in pure creation mode. Programmers coded without interruption, designers crafted without distraction, marketers strategized without interference. This 4-hour focus block became legendary in their industry, and competitors couldn't understand how Robert's smaller team consistently outperformed much larger organizations. The secret wasn't superior talent or unlimited resources. Robert understood that sustained focus isn't just a personal skill. It's a systematic approach to structuring your entire work environment. When you build what I call a focus fortress, distractions don't just become easier to ignore, they become virtually impossible to encounter. Creating distraction-proof systems starts with understanding that willpower is finite, but systems are infinite. Every decision you make depletes your mental energy slightly. Should I check email now or later? Should I answer this call or let it go to voicemail? Should I work on task A or task B? These micro decisions accumulate throughout the day, leaving you exhausted by afternoon even if you haven't accomplished anything significant. Time blocking eliminates decision fatigue by predetermining exactly what you'll work on and when. Instead of constantly choosing what to do next, you simply follow your predetermined schedule. But effective time blocking goes far beyond writing tasks on a calendar. Start by identifying your biological prime time, the hours when your mental energy peaks naturally. For most people, this occurs within the first 3 hours after waking up. Schedule your most important, challenging work during these golden hours. Protect this time like your financial future depends on it, because it does. Block similar tasks together to minimize context switching. Answer all emails in designated batches rather than responding randomly throughout the day. Make all your phone calls during one focused period. Review reports in a single session rather than piecemeal throughout the week. This batching technique can double your efficiency because your brain doesn't need to constantly readjust to different types of thinking. Single tasking isn't just more efficient than multitasking, it's the only way your brain can produce truly excellent work. When you focus on one task completely, you enter what psychologists call flow state, where your performance increases dramatically and time seems to disappear. Sequential focus means completing tasks one at a time rather than switching between them. Finish writing the entire report before starting the presentation. Complete all your research before beginning to write. Polish the first chapter completely before moving to chapter 2. This approach feels slower initially, but produces results much faster because you never lose momentum or forget your train of thought. Your attention span is like a muscle that grows stronger with proper training. Most people can sustain deep focus for about 25 minutes when they start building this skill. With consistent practice, you can extend this to 90 minutes or even longer. The key is progressive overload, gradually increasing the duration and intensity of your focus sessions. Understanding attention as a finite resource changes how you manage it. You wake up each morning with a full tank of attention, and every distraction drains this tank slightly. By noon, most people are running on mental fumes, which explains the afternoon productivity crash that plagues so many workers. And protect your attention like you protect your money. You wouldn't spend your entire salary on trivial purchases, yet most people waste their daily attention allocation on meaningless activities. Social media scrolling, news reading, gossip conversations, and mindless web browsing are the mental equivalent of buying lottery tickets with your rent money. Rewards and consequences create powerful motivation to maintain focus. Set up systems that make focused work feel good and distracted behavior feel uncomfortable. After completing a focused work session, reward yourself with something genuinely enjoyable. A favorite beverage, a few minutes outdoors, or a brief conversation with someone you like. When you catch yourself being distracted, impose a small but meaningful consequence like doing 10 push-ups or putting $1 in a jar. Accountability systems multiply your focused power because they engage your social psychology. Tell someone about your focus goals and ask them to check on your progress weekly. Join or create a focused accountability group where members report their deep work hours. Use apps that track and share your focus time. When other people know about your commitment, you're far more likely to follow through. The Pomodoro Plus method takes traditional time management to the next level. Work for 50 minutes with complete focus. Then take a 10-minute break. During breaks, avoid all screens and stimulation. Instead, walk, stretch, breathe deeply, or simply sit quietly. This recovery period allows your brain to consolidate what you've learned and prepares you for another high-performance session. Flow state represents the peak of human performance, where your skills perfectly match the challenge at hand. Time seems to slow down, self-consciousness disappears. Your work feels effortless, yet produces extraordinary results. You can learn to trigger flow state consistently by eliminating distractions, setting clear goals and choosing tasks that stretch your abilities without overwhelming them. Visualization maintains focus under pressure by mentally rehearsing successful outcomes. Before starting important work, spend 2 minutes visualizing yourself completing the task with perfect focus. See yourself ignoring distractions, staying engaged, and producing excellent results. This mental rehearsal primes your brain for focused performance and builds confidence in your ability to concentrate despite challenges. Your focus fortress becomes stronger with each successful session, creating an upward spiral of achievement and confidence. Linda stared at the blank page on her computer screen. 3 failed novel attempts sat in her desk drawer, each abandoned after a few chapters when life's distractions pulled her away. Children needed attention, bills demanded payment, friends wanted social time, and her own scattered thoughts jumped between worry and excitement. At 42, she wondered if her dream of becoming a published author would remain forever unfulfilled. Then Linda made a radical decision. She would live as if distractions simply didn't exist. Not ignore them or fight them, but structure her entire life around the assumption that focused work was the only work that mattered. This wasn't denial, it was design. Linda's transformation began at 4:30 a.m. while her family slept and the world remained quiet. She claimed 2 precious hours for her writing. No internet connection, no phone nearby, just her thoughts, and her manuscript. She wrote every single day, without exception, treating her morning writing session as sacred as breathing. Within 18 months, Linda completed her first novel. The second took 14 months. The third took 11. All 3 became bestsellers. Publishers began seeking her out. Literary agents competed for her attention. Linda's total transformation from scattered dreamer to productive author didn't happen because she found more time. It happened because she learned to live like distractions don't exist. Living this way requires a fundamental shift in how you approach each day. Most people wake up and immediately surrender their attention to whatever demands it loudest. Email notifications, news updates, family requests, work emergencies. They spend their days in reactive mode, responding to other people's priorities while their own goals remain perpetually incomplete. The focused lifestyle reverses this pattern. You wake up and immediately engage with your most important work while your mental energy is fresh and your willpower is strong. You protect your peak hours like a fortress, allowing nothing to penetrate unless it's genuinely urgent. You structure your entire day around periods of deep work, separated by intentional recovery. Your morning ritual determines whether you'll spend the day in control or constantly catching up. Successful people understand that how you spend your first hour awake sets the tone for everything that follows. Linda's 4:30 a.m. writing sessions weren't just about getting work done. They were about claiming ownership of her day before the world could make other demands. Create a morning routine that immediately puts you in focused mode. This might mean waking up 30 minutes earlier to work on your most important project. It could involve meditation, exercise, or journaling to clear your mind before engaging with work. The specific activities matter less than the consistency and intentionality. You're training your brain to associate waking up with focused productivity rather than scattered react. Your physical workspace should make focused work feel natural and distracted behavior feel awkward. Remove everything that doesn't directly support your current task. Keep your desk clean and organized. Position your computer screen to minimize glare and reduce eye strain. Invest in a comfortable chair that supports good posture during long work sessions. These details seem minor, but they accumulate into a significant advantage over time. High-stress periods test your focus commitment most severely. Deadlines approach, crises emerge, family situations demand attention, financial pressures mount. These are precisely the moments when focus becomes most valuable and most difficult to maintain. The people who succeed during chaos are those who can maintain their focus systems, even when everything else feels uncertain. During major life changes, job transitions, relationship shifts, health challenges, financial difficulties, your focus becomes both your anchor and your salvation. When external circumstances feel unstable, your ability to concentrate on what you can control provides psychological stability and practical progress. The compound effect of sustained focus creates exponential improvements in every area of life. Small daily improvements in your ability to concentrate create massive long-term advantages that most people never realize. Consider the mathematics of focus improvement. If you increase your effective focused work time by just 1 hour per day, that's 365 additional hours of high-quality work per year. That's equivalent to 9 full work weeks of extra productivity. Over a decade, this single improvement gives you nearly 2 years of additional productive time. But the benefits multiply beyond simple time calculations. Focused work is significantly higher quality than scattered work. When you concentrate deeply, you make fewer mistakes, generate more creative solutions, and produce results that stand out in a world full of mediocre, distracted effort. Your earning potential increases dramatically when you develop a reputation for deep workability. Employers pay premium salaries to people who can think clearly and produce exceptional results. Clients seek out service providers who can focus completely on their needs without distraction. Customers gravitate toward businesses that demonstrate consistent, focused attention to detail. In a distracted world, focused individuals become increasingly rare and valuable. While everyone else struggles with shortened attention spans and scattered productivity, you develop the ability to think deeply, work intensively, and create consistently. This differentiation becomes your competitive advantage in every professional situation. Building this reputation requires consistent demonstration of focused behavior over months and years. Complete projects ahead of schedule. Deliver work that exceeds expectations. Show up fully present in meetings and conversations. Return calls and emails promptly, but in batches rather than constantly. These habits signal to others that you're someone who takes focus seriously. Your personal relationships also improve dramatically when you learn to be fully present. Instead of half listening while checking your phone, you give people your complete attention. Instead of thinking about work during family time, you engage fully with the people you love. This presence deepens connections and creates more meaningful interactions. Here's your immediate action plan for implementing everything you've learned today, before you do anything else. Identify your most important task, the one that will have the greatest positive impact on your life if completed excellently. Schedule a specific time block for working on this task with 0 interruptions within the next week. Conduct your personal distraction audit. Track every interruption for 7 days to understand your unique patterns. Install website blockers and turn off non-essential notifications on all your devices in the next 30 days. Implement the 21-day distraction elimination protocol. Start building your focus muscle systematically, 1 week at a time. Create your morning routine and design your workspace for deep work over the next 90 days. Establish your focus fortress with time blocking systems, accountability partnerships, and advanced techniques like the Pomodoro Plus method. Practice flow state activation and visualization under pressure, and measure your progress by tracking your daily hours of focused work, your completion rate for important projects, and your satisfaction with your professional and personal achievements. Create a simple tracking system that takes less than 2 minutes per day to maintain. Your personal focus manifesto should capture your commitment in writing, something like, I am someone who acts like distractions don't exist. I protect my attention like my financial future depends on it. I complete important work first, every day, without exception. I am present and engaged in all my relationships. I build my life around deep work and meaningful contribution. Read your manifesto daily during your morning routine. Share it with people who matter to you. Use it as your standard for making decisions about how to spend your time and attention. The choice is yours. You can continue living in reactive mode, constantly pulled in different directions by other people's agendas and random distractions. Or you can join the small percentage of people who have learned to focus with laser-like intensity on what matters most. When you master this skill, when you truly learn to act like distractions don't exist, you don't just become more productive, you become more creative, more valuable, more successful, and ultimately more fulfilled. You join the ranks of people who shape the world rather than merely react to it. Your focused attention becomes your superpower in a distracted world. Think about the legacy you want to create 5 years from now. When people mention your name, what do you want them to say? Do you want to be remembered as someone who is always busy but never seemed to accomplish anything significant? Or do you want to be known as someone who consistently delivered exceptional results because you could focus when others couldn't? Your children are watching how you handle your attention. When you constantly check your phone during conversations with them, you're teaching them that other people's priorities matter more than the person standing right in front of you. When you work with complete focus and then give them your full presence, you're modeling the behavior that will serve them throughout their lives. The world needs your focused contribution now more than ever. While everyone else is scattered and distracted, producing mediocre work and half-hearted effort, your ability to concentrate deeply on solving important problems becomes invaluable. The challenges facing humanity, climate change, poverty, disease, inequality require sustained, focused thinking from people who can work without distraction for extended periods. Your unfocused competition is doing you a favor. Every time a colleague answers their phone during an important meeting, they're showing clients that they're not someone who can be trusted with significant responsibilities. Every time a business owner checks social media instead of working on strategy, they're creating an opportunity for focused competitors to overtake them. Every time someone multitasks their way through important work, they're producing inferior results that make your focused efforts look even more impressive by comparison. The technology that distracts most people can become your greatest tool when you learn to control it instead of letting it control you. Use apps to block distracting websites during work hours. Set your phone to automatically forward calls during focused sessions. Use noise-canceling headphones to create an auditory boundary between you and the world. Technology becomes your ally when you make intentional choices about how and when to use it. Starting tomorrow morning, you have a choice to make. You can wake up and immediately check your phone, surrendering your fresh mental energy to whatever notifications accumulated overnight. You can begin another day of scattered attention, incomplete tasks, and the frustration that comes from being constantly busy but never truly productive. Or you can wake up and immediately engage with your most important work. You can protect your attention like the precious resource it is. You can build the focus muscle that will serve you for the rest of your career and life. You can join the small percentage of people who act like distractions don't exist and watch as your results, your income, your relationships, and your satisfaction all improve dramatically. And the choice is yours. The time is now. Your focused future begins with the very next decision you make about where to direct your attention. Make it count.